It's 5 o'clock and we're off the clock with B. Scott. Today we got Caleb Smith with us. You may have seen him from our race series. If you haven't checked our race series out, you need to go check it out. He's doing some awesome things out there. Well, I say, first of all, thanks for coming.
Thank y'all.
I say we get this thing wide open and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I started out kind of didn't really know anything about performance duck boats, and a buddy of mine recommended that I start working on aluminum boats, and I was like, I don't know that I want to do.
What were you doing at that time?
I was just a fab shop and doing trailer repair, signs, plasma cutting stuff, and I started doing some paint work and aluminum welding and nothing to do with boats. And then I started looking around and saw that there was a market for it and got into it in, I think, 2017, and
really
just grown it from there.
So it kind of one thing led to another. It started with paint,
Right.
then it was like, hey, I gotta, my motor's doing this, and just
Right.
one thing led to another.
Right. I didn't ever do any motor work, but I started buying equipment for my fab business, and that all just rolled into being able to do a lot more stuff on the boat side of stuff.
That's right. What I've seen a lot of people with is your like whole shot plates, cav
Right.
plates,
Right.
things like that.
Right.
Boat accessories and
Yes,
just ins and outs as far as that goes.
The cav plates is a big seller for us. We sell a bunch of them. We started with a design and kind of kept the same design for the whole time, and it works, and we've sold a bunch of them and continue to sell a bunch of them. So,
yeah, it helps out a setup tremendously when you get a plate on there that works.
right. And there is a bunch of differences, but the fine-tuning that you guys do on race setups, everybody wants a different design. Everybody wants something that's unique to their stuff. But there's one design that works all the time, and it's the one that we sell with the cutouts that seems to work for just about every setup. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic
Right.
plate
Right.
for everybody, because
Right.
what we racing all year, we found out that everybody's chasing that 10th, so
Right.
they're always changing new plates, new this, new that, new that. I mean, it goes on for days, the options you can do for these boats. But I have noticed, though, that you do pay attention to detail, and you try to serve your customers
Yes,
really
sir.
good. And that's what we enjoy, working with you, over the years, learning how you do things, how we do things, and see each other in a race environment, especially down there in Pinesville. We learn a lot from each other, and he's doing some wonderful stuff. You
are.
got some good work out there.
Well, thank you.
The fit and finish of everything you do is top notch. Always answer the phone, takes care of customers. We've never gotten one,
Absolutely.
never heard anything bad, anything say about you or your business. So that's really nice, and we really like to be involved with people like that, because that's important for us, is giving our customer the best product. And in order to get a good product, you got to deal with good people.
Right. Well, I definitely appreciate the opportunity.
Man.
It's been great.
It's been fun. It's been fun, and it's growing. And now, you purchased a company. Tell us a little bit about your company you purchased.
Yes, sir. So I purchased Hydrodynamics. One of the first products that I made was a breakaway or kick plate. And after that, everybody was like, you need to make jack plates. You need to make jack plates. You need to make jack plates. And I was like, I'm not going to make a jack plate because Hydrodynamics makes them. They do too good of a job. It's a great company that's been around for a long time. And I don't want to compete in a market that there's already a good product. When
That's
you
right.
see that
Yeah.
there's a hole in the market, that's a different story. But I couldn't compete with the price. I couldn't compete with the mechanism, the ratchet mechanism, and it works. And
Right. It makes sense, because it's kind of how I feel too. If you can't build something new to give to the industry, give the people something new that you actually feel that's actually better than what's already built. It's like copying somebody, and it makes perfect sense. And so, the way we do things is like, we like to build and develop and kind of lead the path, to make ourselves feel like we're doing something. And so that speaks volume of what you just said to me, because you could easily build something and knocked it off or done
Right.
this or whatnot, but you didn't. You did it the right way, and that's a lot of that's awesome. I wish more people in this industry, in this world, would feel that way. Because making $1 is making $1, but earning that $1 is different,
Yes,
and so you purchased the company and you made some changes to it, and I'm already seeing changes I'm liking, already. A lot of these companies that build these options, and they just build something. If they can sell it, they sell it. But they don't try to go out and say, hey, this is what he really needs.
Right.
The water pressure, the water coming off the jack plates is transom angles. And you've done something really unique with the product that wasn't offered before.
Yes, sir.
That is going to give boat builders a little advantage.
Yes,
for multiple model boats. So could you tell us a little bit about the new option you did to it?
Yes, sir. So we've made a kick and jack. This is a product that I actually started talking to Steve about 2 years ago about not just purchasing the company, but going together with him to make a kick and jack. And because I like the hydrodynamics jack plate, I was building the kick plate, and let's combine them and make something that works.
Right.
And he wasn't necessarily interested in doing it, but it worked out in the end when I bought the company. I thought he was joking when he was like, "Hey, you need to buy my company," and I'm like, "What?" Like,
you take it serious?
Yeah, I kind of laughed it off, and then he commented on something on Facebook about you need to buy my company. I'm like, dude, that's a bold statement.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And so I called him, and it was in the middle of a snowstorm 2 years ago, and I drove to Texas and sat down with him and talked to him, and anyway, we finally came up with an agreement. But anyway, on the new product, I'll show you.
Yeah, pull it up here.
So a couple of things that we did differently. We put a adjustment screw right here for the for your negative tuck that will allow you to have 0 degrees. You move it down here, that's going to give you 2 degrees, or you can take it out and it's going to be 5 degrees of negative tuck, which is going to help you out in hole shot. It's going to help you carry a load better. And then also just the simplicity of this design with the ratchet mechanism right here.
Yeah, that by far is the easiest way to
Grab a
adjust the
hold of
manual.
it and it just clicks up. It's a lot easier to do it on a boat than on a table.
Yeah,
absolutely it is. But I will say, out of all the mechanical jack plates that we've messed with, you go to the lake, you may have to move the jack plate
Right.
5 times to find where
Right.
it needs to be.
Right.
And just how simple that is. You just loosen those side bolts and just crank it up.
And also, I just sent a picture in of some wedges. Did you get that picture I sent you? If you can pop that up, and that might would explain why why Caleb has done that adjustment screw on the side there for the
the picture up there may be a better explanation than me trying to reach around it and show it. But
did you get it? No.
But that just opens the door to more flexibility for the boat builder, you know.
And also depending on what your purpose is. I mean, if you're hunting with it and you've got a lot of weight in the front of the boat, maybe you want a little bit more tuck to get you out of the hole a little bit faster. And that's even in a perfect setup that there's the ability to adjust that. I'm not going to say necessarily on the fly, but according to what you're trying to do.
Absolutely. I would even say, from a racing standpoint,
right?
Like, everybody's so close and everybody's chasing that 10th that's going to put them ahead, you know, and you got to really mess with every aspect of your setup. And, just having more options is always better, And what I like mostly is, we ran this jack plate with our Gen 2.
I got sent to your phone, Daniel. It's not coming through on. It's not coming through. I had sent to your phone.
And the Gen 2 with this jack plate being recessed transom, it puts it right there where the transom would be.
Correct.
But it adds the aspect that it can break away, that you can jack it up.
Right.
It just opens so many new levels to adjustability.
Performance levels of performance, because you got your basic performance, you got your mid, and you got the guys that go out there and spend lots of money on that drain plug running experience,
and hunters,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can take the same boat and you can put it in the woods and you can adjust the jack plate and you can adjust, everything on it, and you can float your load, go wherever you need to go, float flat, whatever you need to do. And then you can also take the same jack plate, same boat, change it, adjust it, and race it.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, so right here, going back to Caleb was talking about earlier about the adjustment screw. You know, a lot of people use these transom wedges, and we've used these transom wedges a lot in the years of building boats. For the last 25 years, we've used these. The problem is once you use these transom wedges on your transom to adjust your motor tuck, it really locks into a load capacity.
Right.
There's no adjustment there.
Right. You're set with a 2 degree. You're set with a 5 degree. Whatever
That's
wedge
right.
it is that you choose, and then to take it off, you got to take your motor off. You got to pull all the bolts out.
Oh yeah.
Those some of the other ones that are out there that don't have the holes, they slip. I've seen them get loose and people hitting stuff and breaking the wedges and
really,
it's
really a Band-Aid.
Right.
It's really a Band-Aid.
It is.
And what you've done here is taken that. I mean, you've replaced that with a screw, an engineered a process of adjusting your load. If you're in the woods or you're in a sandbar, whatever it is. Because we talked, you know, you get a 15-foot boat, 16-foot boat, 17-foot boat, 18-foot boat. It all matters. It all matters. You know, a lot of guys on social media, they'll get a boat, they'll see something running, but they don't really understand how that person got there.
Right.
Whether it's an $800 prop, whether it's something that you built that helps performance, get the boat on plane. I mean, all this matters.
Right.
And one thing you have done is fix that problem, which is nice, you know.
And that was something, even going into this, I didn't understand, but I've never been afraid to ask questions.
Right.
And learn from what I see other people do, ask questions. Okay, I see you do this, but why do you do this?
Right.
And how does this affect it? And trying to learn what the effect is and why do you want more negative tuck? Why do you want more setback? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
People just don't get it the how a boat actually works,
Right.
and you're attacking that, and you're giving customers an option, or educating.
Yes.
You might want to call it educating, but it is something nice, and I'm glad to see somebody finally paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, because it's hard for us. You know, you take boat builders that builds the same thing over and over and over for years and years and years, and they're happy.
Right.
You know, but we're not. You know, so we really enjoy working with people that will think outside the box and will push our limits and say, hey, how about we do this? Or how about we do this? And, you know, and I feel like you're kind of like us.
I do too.
Like
I
you
get
know,
that sense as well.
You know, like if we build a boat and you don't like it, you know, you'll tell us, hey, this is not a good boat.
Right.
I mean,
Well, I mean, that's one thing that I guess maybe some people may not like it, but I've never been afraid to be like, hey, I don't like this. This is, and I can say why. It's not like, oh, I don't like this because it doesn't look cool, or I don't like this because whatever. I don't like it because I don't understand it. Well, let's talk about it. Let's figure out why. You know, if we need to meet in the middle, you know, maybe you need to make an adjustment, I need to make an adjustment, whatever. But let's make a better product that really doesn't take any more effort to make a good product than a subpar product.
That's right.
And it pushes us, and it pushes you, and it pushes everybody, and together everybody goes, you know, grows.
Yeah, I mean, I know we got more ideas. I got more ideas. We could talk all day on ideas and jack plates, and you know, this is the way our brains work. You know,
Right.
but we enjoy it. But we do not want to build something if we're not leading the pack.
Right.
You know, because we feel like it's a failure on our part.
Well, you don't want to build a single-use boat. You don't
No,
want to build
that's right.
a boat that only people race. I mean, we see these pictures. Quentin posted a video yesterday running a Mod 40 with a, you know, through the mud. I mean,
Which I don't really think that's a good
that's
idea.
probably
Which-
not the best, but
in my opinion of that is, you know, that's not what the boat is
right, absolutely
indicated for.
Absolutely.
But it does show that you can do it with a V-bottom boat.
Look,
Right.
man, I can go mud riding all day long in some street tires.
Right.
That's right.
You know?
That's true. That's a fact.
But it's an idea.
Or a Porsche, or
Probably
you
not.
know, whatever
No,
you
it's
want
it's
to.
not an idea. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna take a Mod 40 in a mud flat,
Yeah.
just know that hey, you might get there fast,
Right.
but you
It's
might
gonna
not get
look
there
cool.
fast very often. You know?
Right. You're going to destroy it at
Yeah,
some point.
I mean, it's not designed for that. Now, can we build something like that? Well, absolutely, we can, and it definitely opened the door for something new.
It definitely showed us that it's, you know, an
well,
option.
you've always balancing the making a tough boat versus making a durable boat versus making a light boat, and
Yeah.
you can't have. It's not necessarily possible to have something for everything, but you guys have enough options for if
Yeah,
you don't
right.
want a mod 40, you got a MSTC.
And you also got to remember too that if we could do it, so I'm sure we can. I mean, I got some ideas how to do it, but will you pay for it?
Right.
That's the problem. I
Right.
mean, good stuff costs money. You got
Absolutely.
you buy something that's good. You buy something that looks like it's good, but it's a lot cheaper. It's not as good. So you got options where to spend your money.
Right.
I mean, you're gonna pay. You got to pay the design and the technology that would go into that. It's worth something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and with the hydrodynamics, I mean, I've seen a bunch of these Chinese jack plates that people, even on little boats, they start tearing away from the transom. They start breaking where the angle comes together. And that's a huge safety thing. And what I started paying attention to, because hydrodynamics was more on the bass boat level, but there's a bunch of videos out there of bass boats that have wrecked and ripped motors off of boats and stuff. And I mean, these guys are running 100 miles an hour. And the jack plate's still fine.
Yeah.
I talked to a dealer that had put one on, and same thing, dude broke a drive shaft, and the jack plate was fine. Now, I didn't come up with that design. I'm not the one that engineered it, but I'm glad to stand behind it now.
Well,
And-
absolutely. It's something you stand behind a product that you can build onto.
Right.
And that's awesome that you think that way, because there's so many people out there that say, hey, it's easy to buy this company, go sell all this stuff, and beat your
Right.
chest and say, hey, I did all this.
Yeah,
But
very
hey,
easily.
Give credit where credit's due. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And be grateful for the opportunity. I just wish more people thought like that.
Well,
I want to say thank you for thinking like that.
Absolutely.
For one.
You bought a company that you believed in.
Right.
Yes.
And that's key to success in that.
Right, and I still have a great relationship with Steve. He said, "Look, I want to be the first jack plates you sell."
Yeah.
And we made some stuff. I had to wait on some material, but learning and getting it all going. And I mean, he's still a dealer, and still I talked to him. I got to call him on the way home about some stuff, and any questions that I've got, he has 20 more years of knowledge on top of mine that you can take. At the end of the day, you're still dealing with a boat.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter whether it's a duck boat, whether it's a bass boat,
That's right.
whatever. Water's going to be water. Motors are going
that's
to
right.
operate the same way. And when you can start thinking of the big picture of how everything works, you can take that and apply it to other, to a duck boat.
Yeah, just-
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what boat it is, because the physics of it's the same.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Right.
balance, you still got to get the balance right. So
Our problem, when we build a boat, our biggest problem is we have such a huge audience, and we have big people, little people, skinny people.
Absolutely. That all makes a difference.
It all makes a difference.
does.
You got a 550 and you got somebody that weighs 350 pounds.
Right.
That.
Probably not the best option.
No, it's not the best option. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your boat's going to draft a little shallower. It's going to get on plane a little slower. You got to put more power to the prop. There's things that you can do as a jack plate builder that will
Right.
help a boat builder achieve better results
It
for a
is.
situation like that.
And even as a consumer,
Yes.
to if you have a boat that's not necessarily a performance boat, if you've got an option to where that we can make you something that we can, I ask a lot of people, what's your transom angle? And
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people don't even think about.
They don't even acknowledge it.
They just want to know, hey, how much setback do I need? Well, I mean, are you 100 pounds or are you 500 pounds? I
Yeah.
mean, what are you trying to do with it? Because
Well,
that's going to
yeah.
change everything.
what motor do you have?
Right.
Even.
And
Right.
in a lot of boat manufacturing in the aluminum world, you got fiberglass and you got aluminum boat, right?
Right.
Well, everybody thinks aluminum boats on the cheaper side of the glass boats. I used to have a glass boat one time. They're nice.
They
But-
ride comfortable.
they
They
ride
fly.
Yeah, I
you're
mean-
running 55, and it's like, oh, this is nothing.
And they got
But-
sparkles or pretty
Right.
and clear coat and
Right.
all that stuff. I mean, they get nice lids everywhere. I mean, yeah.
Carpet.
Yeah, it's really nice. You fishing a point, real heavy point, wind's blowing, you can stay on that point a little better.
Right.
But but the aluminum does have an advantage. I mean, backwater fishing, lightweight stuff. It's easier to pull behind your truck.
It's not
there's
much maintenance.
not much
Right.
maintenance.
When you get home.
So there's a lot of advantages over the aluminum. But what people always have in their mind, and I struggle with it every day, is they always value aluminum as cheap.
Well, they think it's just a John boat, and I mean that kind of goes back to what I said when I got into the business. Was, I don't see the market, but you guys are doing a great job of explaining that this is a multi-purpose boat. I mean, there's people that go set up for live scope, and I mean you can use this as a crappie boat. I mean, and it's going to get up in there. You don't care so much if you get it scratched because you can touch it up.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, my point, my point in all this, and I was kind of long dragging it out, but my point in all this is you take a company like Havoc, and you take a company like what you're doing and your jack plates and the way you believe you're starting. We're going to take some of that technology and throw it into the aluminum world.
Right.
Yeah.
And the performance is only going to get better.
Right.
Because it's I could take an RDBST. Of course, you've seen the Mod 40s and RDBSTs run. They're the most efficient hole in the water, including on a glass boat.
Right.
They are.
Square inch per square inch.
I mean,
They're efficient.
90% of glass boats you see on the water at the lake, they'll be running, and a third of the way up the boat, halfway up the boat is where the water break will be.
Right.
Yeah.
You're plowing water.
And they don't have it set up right.
You know why they don't set them up right? Because it costs too much. They got 250s on the back. They got 150s.
Yep.
The props are expensive. The jack plates are expensive.
Absolutely.
So people don't understand that once you go into the glass world, you start dealing with 150s and 200s and 300s, and you start dealing with the huge props. These props are $800.
Right.
It's not like our 13 spline props.
Right.
No.
Absolutely.
So everything's different.
Right.
So you take that boat to a dealership, and now they're lifting a 250 horse motor. They got hydraulic jack plates, hydraulic steering. They got
Power poles.
So making a 2 or 3 mile an hour increase of performance is a big deal.
Right.
It is. And
Big deal.
they've been struggling. Everybody switched to lithium batteries,
Absolutely.
light batteries.
I was hoping you were going to say something.
That was the
about
worst thing for glass boats.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
In the history of glass boats.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, so when they did that, Steve started looking at other options on how can I bring that motor even further back?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to balance that.
That's
you're
right.
trying to get that to where it's going to get back and ride right.
And you talk about balancing point. We're big on balancing points. I think, you look at the Gen 2.
Right.
It's a creation of that. How can we beat the odds here? But the boat industry and the aluminum side is getting more educated towards the balance of the boat.
Yep.
What really makes a boat run.
And what's also impressive is look back and see that, all right, so we're moving into that, but Bass Pro's figured it out a long time ago, and everybody's like, oh, you can't do that with aluminum. Well, you just said, okay, I can make an inch transom.
Yeah.
I can make it out of aluminum.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bass boats, glass boats did figure it out a long time ago.
Right.
And it's amazing they can get a 1,400-pound boat running as good as they do.
Right.
It really is.
They got to put a lot of horsepower back there. But
And
it is
way back.
But you can go to the lake. You go camping with your family. You sit on the side of the lake. You watch all these bass boats running down there, rooster tails, way up in the air. And they look good, boy. They look like they're skint back, but they're running 62 miles an hour. And they're losing all that power to the prop.
Right.
And they're happy because they're sitting in their seat and they see no water there.
Right.
But they don't realize the V of the water is like up there by their live well.
Right.
Yeah.
But they think they're doing something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Until you see one come through there like that's really set up. You're like, okay, that dude got lined out. But that guy also spent thousands of dollars to get his boat like that.
He's got a ton of money in just to set up.
That's what they don't
Props and
realize.
everything.
Thousands of dollars. It don't matter if it's a glass boat. It don't matter if it's a fiberglass boat. That man spent money.
Right.
Spent money to get that boat to perform like that. But, here at Havoc and what you're doing is we're doing that off the floor.
Yeah.
You take the Mod 40, you take the RDBSTs, you take whatever we're building in our performance side. Look at the Marsh Runners. We just ran a Marsh Runner, the Gen 2 yesterday, with 75 Mercury, and it was carrying 3 people, camera gear and everything, and we were skint back.
Oh, yeah. No, we were Cadillacing.
Passing a glass boat.
7-foot casting deck. 7-foot casting deck.
Trolling motor on there, light bar housing.
When you're talking about a boat, you go to the dealer and buy for $26,000 loaded down with a 7-foot casting deck.
Yep.
Where you take that $28,000 boat and you compare it to something on the industry for $52,000.
Right.
Absolutely.
You go run 55 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour.
And with this boat, you can jump a log getting into the hole.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where he comes back into the
That's where
picture
it's different.
because he builds a jack plate that is fit for that boat that will give the guy an option for the motor to kick up a little bit.
Absolutely.
So everything I've seen, I love it.
Right.
It's definitely growing.
Right.
It's giving people, sometimes I feel bad for customers. They're like, oh my God, What are they doing now?
Yeah.
You know, but it's definitely pushing, and that's what I like about that's what I love about my job. It's not about the boats, man. It's about building something that somebody will remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Changing something, giving somebody another option.
Right.
You know,
And giving them something that they feel good about. You don't want to feel like you've taken somebody, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe you see it differently, whatever. But there's people that I see it as like, okay, you're working hours for dollars. I'm not taking money from you. I'm taking time from your family.
man.
That you spent your time to pay for my product. I don't want to give you a product that I'm not proud of, that you're not proud of.
You're exactly right. I mean, if I walk up to somebody at the boat ramp and I sold them a boat, let's say they gave me $10,000. Let's say they gave me $10,000 cash right there.
Yeah.
And that guy said, I really don't like my boat. I'm giving them $10,000 back.
Right.
Absolutely. You're not going to be like, I got you.
I don't want your $10,000.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't deserve that $10,000, if I didn't deserve that, I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know?
And you can't be perfect. I mean, I've had times that people have had issues, and I call them like, okay, I'll give you your money back. I'll send you another one, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do in today's world. I mean, and I don't do it because I'm scared of getting canceled or whatever, but it's just do right by people, and everything's going to be okay.
Right. But you also, that being said, some people will take advantage of that.
Absolutely, and it happens. I mean, I've had people like somebody has a problem, something they don't like the way something, maybe it got damaged in shipping, whatever, and I ship them back, and I'm like, okay, I'm sending a return label in the box, and oh yeah, I'll get it back to you. Never hear from them.
Never see it again.
Never.
I know it's just it's aggravating.
And I got mad from a customer or as a customer from one of my suppliers. Big, I mean, spend thousands of dollars with them, and they messed up something twice, and then it's like, okay, well, we're going to run your card again. And then when you return it, I'll get it back. And I'm like, okay, they can expect that as a business, but a lot of times consumers, you can't do that. You got to do it right. Cause
You do.
You have to take care of them.
Right.
That's what keeps them coming back.
Right.
And we get burned all the time. We get burned all the time.
Then you're probably doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, we get burned all the time, but it doesn't matter.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
If you're getting burned, you're definitely doing something right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're around screwing everybody, you're never going to get burned. But
That's right.
if you're trying to do right and trying to take care of people, it is going to come back to bite you in the butt.
It is.
That's true.
That's a good point. I ain't heard that.
I've never heard it put that way.
That's a really good point. It actually makes me feel a little better about myself. But
a little boost.
Yeah, we get burned. And it's like, just keep doing it. Because, not everybody's like that.
Right.
And another thing is, you see these people that will sell customers things they don't need.
Right.
If you're taking your family out and you got 3 kids, a wife, you don't need a 1653 VJ.
Right.
If you're taking your family out, you
Right.
know. Like, you just basically, you got to set them up for what they're needing and what they're going after,
Right.
And I've had that discussion with customers on time that, like, they call me and they want XYZ, whatever it is. And I'm like, look, man, I'll gladly sell this to you, but at the end of the day, I don't think you need it. Like,
It's not for you.
yeah, you're not using the application. They're trying to make a 25 on a 1860 work, and I mean, not necessarily that, but
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Same thing, and it's like, dude, yeah, is it gonna help you? Maybe, but not enough.
In this world, where everybody is so impatient. They want it now. I ordered some fishing poles the other day. I ordered some fishing poles and some reels. I just wish I would have went somewhere and got it because I just want it. But I know I'm not going to go fishing for 2 weeks because it's cold outside.
It's so bad. I've heard about it so many times.
I'm not ready to go fishing.
You can probably tell what model he ordered, how long. And where he got them from.
He's worried sick about it, and he acts like he ordered it like a week ago.
I mean,
he ordered it 2 days ago.
Right.
We
It didn't even 2 days.
last night. Was the last night before we got a phone call about 9:00. We got and we took off.
It was the night before.
Night before.
It was like 10:30 at night.
Yeah, and we had a photo shoot with the Gen 2. We had a good opportunity to get some good pictures, and I was laying in bed. I'm like, oh, I got to go. And I called Daniel, and Daniel woke up middle of the night and met me, which is awesome. And we have such a good staff, But everybody's in it together, But we took off. And I was talking about the stupid fishing poles on the way down there.
And we're rolling down the highway,
Yeah.
Is that when you bought them?
I bought them. I've been checking my thing.
So he bought them about 7:00 that night. Well, We get the call about 10:30. We roll out about 11:30, right? And he's talking about these fishing poles. All right, so we get there, we get a couple hours, 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours, something like that. We go do this photo shoot, and then it lasts all day. And then we come home. We're driving home in nighttime, right? And he's talking about these fishing poles. And he's like, I think my reels have been delivered. I'm like, if your reels have been delivered, they did it in less than 24 hours.
Right.
So that's outstanding.
I get home and tell your mama, I says, hey, would you go get her stuff? I think my reels are in. She says, you just ordered them yesterday.
Our time is jacked up in our heads.
Right.
Like, I feel like we've been gone for 3 days, but it was like 24 hours.
Right.
So we're all jacked
but anyways,
up.
the point is, people are impatient.
Right.
You know, when they want something, they want it. You know, and that's one thing for our jobs, what we do and what you do is a lot like what we do. When you build something, somebody wants it done right because they don't want to waste their time. They want to take that product and they want to use it.
Right.
You know,
then.
And when something breaks or something goes wrong, you know, I take that as a personal attack to me.
Right.
You know, it's not my painters, it's not the builders, it's not, you know, that's on me.
Right.
You know, what do I need to do to make you feel better about your purchase? You know, because I tell people all the time. I mean, like when I go to, you know, I'm a big John Deere guy. I love John Deere tractors. You know, I got this one sales guy I deal with. I got this one store I deal with because when I call that guy, he answers his phone and
Right.
it makes me feel good. You know, and so I want to be that guy too. You know, I'm your boat builder. You know, when I talk to customers all the time, I say I'm your boat builder.
Right.
You know, I take pride in that, you know. And, you know, that's, you know, I feel that's the way you're going to take the approach. Like,
I do my best to. I mean,
Well,
I don't want to be. There's people I can't serve. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not going to buy from me. Maybe they're buddies with a competitor. Maybe whatever. Fill
Yeah.
in the blank here,
Yeah.
and that's okay. I mean, you know, I know I'm not going to sell to them, and okay, but you don't let that deter you from just
yeah,
doing
and sometimes too that will encourage you to figure out why that customer don't belong to you.
Right.
You know, what have you done that didn't deserve his business? And sometimes that will push you to a whole new level of maturity in business, or you will learn and adapt. So a lot of my best customers was people that ran my competition.
Right.
You know, and when it comes down to it,
Sometimes those are definitely your best salespeople.
yeah,
Whatever it
absolutely.
is I went here. This didn't do what I wanted it to do. I ran this. I ran that. This person did that. Whatever.
Yeah,
And sometimes that they become your best salespeople because they see that you're different.
that's right. They see that you earned it.
Right.
You know, they earned it,
And they've seen all sides of it.
Right.
You know, they've been on all sides.
And you know, a lot of this show is about blue collar. You know, but you know, anybody can do anything in this world if they put their mind to it. And, you know, that's what's so nice about the United States. You know, it gives you
Right.
so many options. You're so free. It's such a great country. A lot of people take it, they'll sit back on their computers, they'll whine and complain about politics or this and that. And I do think the politics are screwed up. But I do think it's America, and I think people will come out ahead, you know. But, you know, this is America. You can do anything you want to do here. And
And the dream's not dead.
no, the dreams I did. This is my American dream.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, this is we live this, and you've lived this, and you're learning it, and you're showing it, and you're carrying it on, and getting involved with good people too. It could be your dream too.
Right.
You know what you're doing. So it depends on what you know how you handle yourself.
Right.
And it's just a wonderful thing. I'm just grateful for to have an opportunity to work for you. You know, work for you. That's what we're doing. You know, I buy something, I work for you, you work for me, whatever. We're working together to achieve a goal.
Right.
Yeah. It goes both ways. For
Right,
sure.
absolutely.
You know, so it's just I'm excited to go fishing.
Absolutely.
We
And
can do fishing poles.
Oh man, he's biting into bits. I promise you.
I don't know why.
He's telling me he's like I know it's been about 15 years, but I'm gonna learn to catch big bass deep. That's what I want to do. So I got a good feeling as soon as he gets his poles, he's going out there deep, and he's gonna go fish, and he ain't gonna catch nothing.
And you're like, where are them poles? Oh, they're at the bottom of the lake. I got a map.
I hate fishing.
A lot of these officers impatient, man. I used to fish bass tournaments all the time when I was younger, and I was just impatient.
Fishing's one of those things that you have to do so many different things right to catch fish.
I'm just not good at it.
And it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication. You're not going to be a weekend warrior and be a great fisherman.
Yeah.
It makes it very hard. It takes so much time.
I know a lot of good customers and friends of ours that are really good fishing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I've already texted him, by the way. So, hey, Chris Wages. What's up, Chris Wages?
Yeah.
In Texas, he's a really good fisherman. I don't know if you know Chris Wages.
I don't.
Oh, dude.
Probably should.
He comes to the boat races all the time. He's a really tall guy. He was he was probably one of the guys that really got me into performance duck boats.
From way back when.
Mm-hmm. And back in the Little Rock days,
59 cubic inch.
Mhm.
Motor in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right.
So, he's a real good fisherman. So I'm excited to go fishing anyway. But anyways, let's get off the fishing because it's 29 degrees and snowing right now, isn't it? Isn't it snowing
It
in
is
Hot
snowing
Springs?
right now, yeah.
That's not a good fishing day.
I was kind of skating down the road on the way down here. It was
How long of a drive is it from you?
about 3.5 hours.
3.5. That's not too bad.
Not terrible.
Yeah.
Some people think of 3.5 hours. Now I don't like to necessarily drive,
that's right.
but I mean, unfortunately, we can't all be next door neighbors.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know it. We had 7 hours last night. It was terrible.
Last night and that morning.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Both.
But yeah, I didn't know how he was gonna get home.
So it's weird. We're not real great drivers, long distance drivers, and it's like the shorter but somewhat longer trips are worse.
Right.
New Mexico, I felt like the 15 hours sucked,
Right.
but it was like we just knew it was gonna suck,
Right.
so we wasn't let down by it sucking.
You
know?
just muscle through it and get done. But when it's like 3.5 to 5 hours is always like,
yeah, it's a
it
bad.
ruins a day. But I didn't want it to ruin a day. But I mean, I'm not saying this ruined the day, but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you're
No, I
doing.
know what
it's
you mean.
like you kill
Yeah.
the entire day, and
It is.
so-
But the boating stuff's all spread out everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the niche that we're in, the performance, boats that we're in, like even racing. I mean,
Absolutely.
when we all go meet at the races, like once a month, everybody's coming from everywhere.
Yeah, it's a minimum of like the closest race. Every race is 6 hours away. And it seems like every boat builder's 3 to 4 hours away, and it's like I'm in the middle of nowhere,
and
but there's
everybody-
nowhere to be.
And everybody got a part overnight the night before the race.
It's insane.
You don't know? Say you ever watch our
Right.
videos?
Right?
Yeah, I just picked up on that. Like everybody we interview is like, "Hey, I just had this overnight last night to make the race.
Right.
I just had this overnight to make the race. I just built this yesterday." I'm like,
I'm guilty. Usually, like if the day before I'm leaving, and I try to leave in the mornings because I know it's going to be 6 hours, especially in the middle of the summer. Like I don't want to be leaving and setting up in the middle of the day. I
Yeah.
want to set up at night when it's cool. And if my boat is together 10 hours before I leave, that's a success.
"Oh wait,
because,
that's a big
like,
success."
I mean, usually it's like the motor's off the boat, the midsection's off the boat, whatever the case may be. And
Yeah,
it's
We find ourselves more times than not in that same predicament.
right.
one time we actually did things right, and we went down there and we got there like 2 days early.
Yeah.
And we put the boat in the water. We ran a really, really good time. We're like, "Hey, I think that's a winning time." We went back to the tent. We sat there. We're all sitting there. Cousin's sitting there. We're all sitting there. We're just speechless. We're like,
Now
"What
what?
did we do for 2 days?"
Like, what do we do now, cuz? And he's
Right.
Like,
I don't know.
and then
It's never happened to us
I was
before.
like, "We screwed up. We got prepared."
Right.
What do we do?
Right.
But that doesn't happen.
And that
No.
probably didn't happen the next race.
No, it
it
didn't.
didn't. Matter of fact, we probably blew our motor up that race.
Right.
Like everything was too good.
Right.
Yeah.
Something had to go wrong.
I'm excited about the races. I mean, I'm ready to get out there.
I think it's gonna be a unique year.
I'm ready to see everybody. You gotta miss everybody.
You do.
At the end of the year, it's like I'm ready for this to be over, and then like I don't know about December, January, it's like okay, when we go race again?
Yeah,
Like,
we're ready.
yeah.
Let's go.
Go catch up with everybody.
Right.
We're ready to go race and see everybody for sure. You actually do start missing people.
Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't seen Quentin since. When was the last time we seen Quentin?
I don't know. It's been a while.
person.
Been a while.
It's been a while. Probably the last race.
Yeah.
He's been busy. Have you seen him lately?
I talked to him on the way here, but I hadn't seen him.
He's lost some weight.
I think I saw a picture of him,
Seriously.
and I was like, "Who's that?"
I didn't recognize him either.
He's looking sexy. He's looking sexy.
He's dropping down.
He is. He's looking sexy.
He was like a super heavyweight.
Right.
He's,
Now he's getting down there in like middleweight.
Well, he's trying to come down in class.
he's
he
trying to
doesn't
get the
wanna-
outlaw class.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Outlaw class. Oh boy.
He wants to run it so bad.
I just think guys losing weight because it makes it a lot easier as a boat builder.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't build a magic boat, man.
Right.
I can't build a boat that weighs 160 pounds. You got to help me here.
I know it.
and
And
make-
for each of the racers, their setup is different for them too.
Right,
You know,
absolutely.
a lot of people don't think about that. They see a racer's setup, and they might judge Quentin's setup and be like, okay, you know, Quentin's very competitive, really fast. You know, this is the setup I need.
Right.
Well, if they set their boat up exactly like Quentin, it may be
Put a
not right for them.
150-pound driver in it.
I might have
It's not right.
Yeah, I might have a weird angle at this though, but Quentin taught us a lot
He did.
because he is so fast and he is a big guy.
Yeah.
So it does give you a whole new element of like, how did he do that?
It shows that it's doable.
And he
Yeah.
did everything. It's like he did everything wrong. Started out with a narrow boat, which
Yeah.
doesn't carry the weight well.
I
And
know.
then, like,
he comes down there like this, you know,
yeah,
sideways.
like,
it's
how does
definitely
that
it's
work?
it's torqued over.
yeah.
Yeah,
If it's a 8-degree hole, he's running on like one side of it. Just
He's running a flat bottom.
Yeah.
it took a lot to get him convinced that the bigger boat might be faster for him.
Right.
You know, a lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
You know, I'm like, hey man, come on, dude. I mean,
Well, it's like even Cuz, you know,
yeah,
we went through this stage where Cuz wanted us to build a 550, race a 550, 550,
Right.
550,
Well, that's what everybody did.
and
yeah.
You know, build it light, build it narrow.
That's right.
Build it short.
but we always made the argument, you know, in a drag race, we got to have the surface area,
Right.
you know, and we'd always relate it to like skiing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you
I'm
need a
like-
wider ski for a bigger guy.
Right.
You know,
And so, like the difference between a mud boat and a outboard boat is
Yeah.
that you got to have more surface area.
Yeah,
you
you do.
want a long skinny boat in a
Yeah.
mud boat.
Well, they've been doing long skinny boats since what? A long time ago over there in Asia, you know.
Right. And that are some of the most efficient boats for pushing that weight.
I mean, it might
And-
be a 25-20. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, don't lean over because
Yeah.
you flip.
no, it's definitely it ain't good this way.
It. Right.
yeah, it's like a canoe, a really long canoe, but man, it sits level.
Right.
And it floats a lot of people.
Right.
You know, and it's fast.
Right.
But you can't have that kind of stuff in a timber.
Right.
You know.
No, you're not getting that banana through there.
Yeah, no. Follow the bubbles. But yeah, it's it's just crazy seeing all this stuff come together and talking to different people, and you know, it's just fun.
And it is fun. It's interesting. It's exciting because I think right now where your jack plate's at, you know, and where our Gen 2, you know, holes are at right now, I think we're about to walk into an era where a customer that's doing a lot of different stuff can walk in, grab that boat, grab that jack plate, get a motor, and he can do, you know, lots of different things with that boat.
Yeah,
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
multi-purpose. And for what you're buying, like price-wise, you can't find that nowhere.
And we are dropping the Gen 2s. We're delivering Marsh Runner Gen 2s
Marshall Gen 2s, yep.
right now to the dealers. They're getting them right now. 553s are being built, so we're about to drop them in February. And we're going to have all your jack plates. You know, I mean, we're going to use your jack plates on them for sure.
Absolutely.
The you know, the 8-inch rapid jack breakaways idea for that in the timber. You know, if somebody wants some performance, you know, if they want the boat to sit more level, they can go with a smaller jack plate. Still
Right.
have the performance. You know, with the performance cut out with the recessed transom, it will allow them to shift the weight back and forth, and you can help do that with your jack plates.
Right.
And if it's a super heavy guy, then he might not need a jack plate.
Right.
You know,
Bolt it to the transom.
So you have that option.
Right.
You have that option.
It's possible that setup, yeah.
And you have a breakaway that will fit the application too. So, you know, you can go from 8 inches all the way to what's your smallest breakaway is.
We make a 3-inch, but it
3-inch,
doesn't
yeah.
really work on every
Yeah.
boat. Sometimes your clamp mechanism or where it comes over the transom will actually hit the transom
Yeah.
when it breaks, and that's something difficult to get to explain to people. Like, well, why didn't it work? I'm like, because it wasn't designed to work.
That's right.
Like,
That's right.
it may work, but it probably won't.
Right. Yep.
Which
So,
makes sense, you know.
so it's going to give you a lot of options. And I think over the next few months, going into racing and going into this selling season of 24, that we're going to see a lot more jack plates, and especially on those Gen 2s.
Absolutely. You
And
know,
jack plates that work.
oh, absolutely. Like on the Marshall Gen 2, that boat has a 75 horsepower rating, and with a
Right.
75 Mercury on it, man, it's a Cadillac.
I bet.
I mean, it is.
Well,
it
it's
is
got enough
outstanding.
weight to make it ride good. It's got enough performance aspects to make it ride good.
And if you look at actually how much setback it has with your 8-inch jack plate, it's past the transom where it would be.
Right.
is 4 inches.
Yeah.
So it technically only has 4 inches of setback.
Right.
Even though there's 8 in there.
Right.
And it floats it better.
But we was able to shift that weight forward.
Yeah, it floats better.
We was able to shift the weight forward, and it gave the boat a little more control until you get on the primary pad where at least water pressure and it's picked up
and clean up.
But since we're on the Gen 2s, I mean, what do you think about Havoc and the Gen 2s, and do you think the Gen 2 is a something that will remold the industry?
When you first brought the Gen 2 to my shop, I don't know, what was it, 8 months ago, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is either crazy, and it's either going to, I mean, it is crazy, but like this is either going to be really good or this is going to flop.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's done really well.
Yes.
I think y'all tweaked it some, and it seems to work really well. And I know your goal when you started was to let's mount it to the transom and get it as close to as possible, and I understand why. But then also it kind of gives you an option of the little bit more setback, but not actually increasing the setback.
Yeah.
And because it's a whole lot easier to find, whether it's my jack plate, any other jack plate, that everybody wants one, whether whether they know it or not. They want one. They probably need one to really fine tune a boat.
It looks cool.
Right. It looks cool.
I would say you need one. Very rarely are you going to get the factory, boat pattern to just be where you need to be.
Right. And you're stuck.
Yeah.
So, but it makes it to where you're doing what people are already doing. And they like, well, I don't want to get it further back. I don't want the tiller handle further away from me, whatever their excuse is. And it's, you've taken that out of the equation.
Right.
And you've brought everything in. And it seems like it's working really well for y'all.
Yeah, so far it is. We haven't sold the boats in volume yet. Of course, we've been testing all year. But we did get the Gen 2 Mod 40 to run within 1/100th of a second.
1/100th of a second.
Of your boat.
Of the,
Of your
Mod 40.
Yeah, and that's a 100 gauge hull, 58.6 alloyed. We talked many times.
That's the difference, too.
On 58.6 alloyed.
I've had that discussion multiple times with fabricators, with other manufacturers. Like, there's a huge difference. I don't think people that are not fabricators understand the difference between 50-52 and 50-86. And to me, like, I don't want to hunt a boat that I can't tear up. Like, I want to hunt a boat that I can't tear up.
That's right.
And a 50-52 boat, I mean, you're gonna tear it up.
And you also want to buy a boat that if you do tear up, the guy that builds the boat is upset about it.
Right.
But the 58.6 is huge.
It is.
It's huge. It's huge for the boat industry. There's a lot of custom boat builders. I mean, that build these mud boats and everything.
Right.
They charge $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 for a 58.6 alloyed upgrade. Right. And you could buy a VJ. You could buy our cheapest, inexpensive boat out of 58.6 alloyed.
Right.
And we never did advertise that.
Right.
We never did advertise it.
No, we didn't make a big push, anything about it. We just knew it'd be better for everybody.
It is a huge thing, and
is.
I didn't understand it until I was in with a buddy of mine and building some custom mud boats and stuff. And I had some scraps of 50-86, and I started making gun trays. When I added a gun tray to a boat, I started making
I remember that.
100 gauge 50-86 gun tray, and it's like, dude, I can stand in this thing. Like, and I mean, I know I'm small, but like, somebody can stand in this. Like, gun trays all the time, you grab them and they're flimsy and everything. And I was like, why is everybody not building boats out of this?
It's so dense.
Right.
Yeah. It's such a good material.
Right.
And we are, I can honestly say we're probably the only manufacturer that actually produces volume product like we do in a
streamlined
in a
version.
50-86 alloyed.
Right.
Which is huge for us. It's not because we want to sell more boats, but we will sell boats either way. We're selling boats. It's just we just want to have something that's better.
It's a little bit of a learning curve on the manufacturer side, figuring out what works with it. If you don't do it right, it's going to break. I mean, but it's the cost upgrade is not huge in the grand scheme of things as a manufacturer, but the benefits of it, it makes it where you don't have to have as much support, which y'all didn't downgrade on the support. You just
No, we just upgraded.
Make everything.
Yeah, we
we didn't downgrade.
It makes
anything.
a tough boat.
Yeah, we definitely over-engineer most of our stuff, But yeah, I mean, it's just little stuff like that. and that you understand the quality, improvements that does for somebody, and you appreciate that, and you feel the same way about your products, which is that's going to reassure customers that you are giving them the best product.
Right.
And that's what's important to understand that. And I think a lot of people that buy products from people, just like the fishing pose, they're just so like, I want that, I'm buying it.
Right.
And they don't really understand what they're buying.
Right.
Shelf
cool
appearance.
And a lot of times it's not, they don't know exactly what they need either.
Right.
It's more of just an impulse to just get it right there.
But you know why they don't understand it? Because they're just too impatient. They don't want to learn about it.
They're not looking into it.
This is how this world is. The world is so fast paced. They just don't want to take the time to learn, or they don't want to take the time to be explained. I mean, they're just so impatient. People are so impatient. So it's our jobs and our duties to do the best we can right out of the gate, because they're not going to look into it on their own.
Right.
So and some people value that. I mean, we have customers that's bought 7 or 8 or 10 boats from us that's been Havoc fans forever. Whether it was one of our other brands we built 2 other brands, very successful brands. We got customers that followed us for years and years and years. I see some work orders coming through the office that I remember their names.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the supervisors come to me like, hey, why are we building this? Why are we doing this? We'll see Tim. So they come up to me. I was like, look, man, that guy's been buying boats from me for 15 years.
Right.
I mean, he's that guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I got to build him a boat.
I got to take care of him. You
can't
can't forget that guy.
He's built that, but he's bought that model from me. He's bought that brand from me. He's just a big fan. And so, and when you get people like that, then you start realizing that, maybe you are doing a good job.
Right.
And it makes you feel good at the end of the day that you have customers like that. And we talked earlier about Facebook and social media, how we get bashed or customers get impatient or get mad at something. They won't work with you. They're impatient. So, you have a bad day. You go home and drink a little bit. It's like, oh, it's what a bad day, But then you realize, then you get that one phone call and like, hey, I just want to let you know, I had a good time on boat.
Right.
I love your product. So there is people like that.
It's the balancing act. Like sometimes it's the 1, 2, 3% that make you question the other 97, and then there's sometimes that it's the 1, 2, 3% that make it's like, okay, this is
why I do it.
This is why I do it. This is
why we do it.
Yeah, a guy texts me at 9:00 at night, and I'm like sitting there on the chair. My wife looks at me, and I'm over there grinning. I'm like, oh, thank God somebody said something nice to me today. I can go one more day.
Right.
It's all worth it.
It's all worth it, And sometimes I'll just text the guy back, say, thank you so much, thank you.
Made my night.
Yeah, I can sleep good tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's the times that it's like when people start referring, it's not just their friends, but like I had a customer of mine that I've done a lot of work for him over the years, and his dad needed something, and he sent me his dad. And it's like, I mean, that's cool. It's like when you trust me to do work for other people in your family, not just, hey, you're my drinking buddy or whatever, and this is who you need to go to. But it's like, no, he knows that it's right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the awesome part of it. I enjoy that. I enjoy that. I mean, you don't have to wake up every day being an asshole.
Right.
You could do nice stuff. Now, if they choose to be an asshole to you, that's on them.
Right.
But open the door for them anyway.
Right.
Because they're going to realize one day that they're being an asshole.
Right.
It's just a matter of time. And you just got to keep doing good by people.
Right.
And
unfortunately, it seems like aluminum boats do have a lot of drama that go along with them. But
I don't know if y'all.
It's the price tag. It's the price tag. I mean, like if you I'm telling you, this is a fact.
I know what you're fixing to say, and it's true. 100%
This is true. You build a DBST for somebody or an MSTC, or you build a VJ or a VJSTC or something that looks like it, but it's not as durable.
Right.
Not as you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
The guy that spends less money is going to complain the worst.
Right. Mm-hmm. I had for a long time. I mean, we do stickers, we do transom plates, all kind of stuff, and it always seemed like the people that were spending $300, $400, $500 on my website, I never hear from them, or that's great, whatever. But then it's the smaller ones, and I'm not saying that to discount that. I mean, I appreciate everybody. I'm still going to treat everybody the same, but it's the ones that, hey, one part of my sticker is messed up or whatever, and I'm still going to fix it. I don't hate it, but it does seem to be the less money that is spent, it can be, I guess, adversely affect. But
I mean, I don't know why that is.
I don't know either.
It's like the DBST customer knows that paint's gonna rub off in the heat tree. You know what I'm saying?
Possible.
They know, they understand,
right?
If you're pushing a boat in a sandy area and you're dragging your belly across the gunnels getting into your boat, if you don't have an ST model, which we have that for that reason, but then they complain when they don't have one because they got to do that, but we do have it,
right?
But anyways, you know what I'm saying. But when you drag your waders across your gunnels 50 times, it's going to rub your liner
right
a little smooth.
Right. Well, I was giving somebody a ride one time that I saw that was struggling going down the river in a kayak, and I'm like, hey, can I help you? And then they're like, yeah, no problem. And they just throw their boat over the side, and I'm like, I know that I didn't really have any choice, but
yeah, I know, I get it. You just got to keep leading by an example, and hopefully the guys will, I don't know, say, okay, I'll buy your upgrade,
right.
whatever, but it's just cost of doing business. Is what we deal with every day, is dealing with the public, and there are going to be folks that love you, and there are going to be folks that don't, but it is what it is. But what else we got going on today?
Well, today we actually probably going to go out and test, some more boats today.
Yeah.
Later.
We're in snows.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Somebody's got to test it.
We do have we got the new, sneak peek 1444.
1444, yeah.
I want to see that.
Dude, it's a little monster, dude.
I bet.
It's crazy looking.
Yeah.
That's going to be another game changer that nobody's doing, and I think you're going to sell a bunch of those.
I think so too.
Hopefully with some kick plates on the back.
Oh yeah. We got
sure.
We got your plate on right now. Matter of fact.
Yeah. That little breakaway.
Yep.
Dude, it's nice.
So I got chewed out when I bought the company from Steve. He was like, "It's not a breakaway." He said, "We don't make stuff that break. It's a kick plate." I was like, I mean, I've called it a breakaway for the past 5 years, but like, okay. And so I've tried to mentally okay, I get it. You're introducing the fact that it break, and so I've been trying to say kick plate, but it doesn't always happen.
I hear you.
Just the lingo.
Right.
Everybody calls it a breakaway.
Stomp jumper,
Yeah. Yeah, very rarely is your kick plate. It's always breakaway.
Well, Caleb, tell us everybody how we can find your product and
yeah, absolutely. CircleSmachine.com. We're working on redoing our website right now, both Circle S Machine and Hydrodynamics-USA.com. Both of those websites are under construction, revamping right now. If you want anything, reach out to me. Facebook, Instagram, Circle S or Hydrodynamics.
Yeah.
A lot of times phone calls is the best way to get me because, I get a bunch of messages every day.
Yeah.
But then this time of year, it's always tough to get me on the phone, too, because it's a metal building.
That's
but
right.
That's right.
It's cold. It's cold outside.
Leave a message. I'll call you back. It may be tomorrow. But
he's not outside fishing, boys. He's inside the building. No cell phone service.
And also our gear shop too. We're leaning towards selling all this stuff for people to be able to fully set up and get their boat ready on our website as well.
Absolutely.
Of course, all of your products will be found at Havoc dealers.
Yeah.
We're purchasing. We're buying everything, so it's going to our dealer network. Nationwide. You'll see it. Texarkana, Gregor, Smith, Will Fagan. I mean, Southside. We got good dealers all over the country that's going to sell your product. So
absolutely,
we're looking forward to that. They're looking forward to that. I've already sent pictures to our dealers. They're excited. So.
That's good. I really appreciate it.
Oh, ain't no problem. Yeah.
It's a product we believe in too. So
absolutely, I sent a picture to Brian Jessen this morning. So thank God. Somebody is building something
doing
nice,
Here we go.
So he's excited to use one too. So
it's just refreshing to see something like that.
It is. It just
hits hard because now it makes me want to go build something new.
Right.
So you got to build something new too.
Okay. We can play that
You know
game.
what I mean? Let's just play cat and mouse here.
It may take me a little bit more time, but
I don't know. We've been working on the Gen 2s for a while.
Oh, I know. We got a pile of Gen 2s outside. Oh, that one didn't work. That one didn't,
You said you said, you seen the first one. You're like, it's either going to flop or it's going to be, crazy. Right. Well, the first one was not good.
Right.
The second one was not as good. It was bad too. And then finally, we started dragging it together.
But B. Scott, what you really talking about not good though? I mean, we're still running in the low tens. You know, what I'm saying?
To standards that are average standards, or just not as high expectations.
Right. You don't want to release something that sends you backwards.
That's right.
Hey, Caleb, I tell you this though, 10 years ago when I used to build a boat, I built a boat, it floated, it ran good, it didn't porpoise real bad. That was a winner.
Right.
Or you try to prototype a boat and throw it in that race club with all your racers.
You're going to get destroyed.
And want to hunt it in the woods.
These guys are talking crap about you over a tenth.
Right.
Or
a second.
Right.
I'm like, come on, guys. 10 years ago, we just tried to go 36 miles an hour with a DT25. I mean, come on.
Right.
Give us a break.
You're running 63 and 660 feet. Give me a break.
In an aluminum boat.
In an aluminum boat. I mean, give me a break.
Right.
You're like, no, that boat sucks. I was 10 years ago, that boat was a winner.
Right.
So it's came such a long way.
And it's like everybody made little bitty gains for so long, and over the past year or two, it's just been like, good gosh, like I know at some point we're going to hit a wall, but where is that wall?
I don't know, because
everybody you keep asking that every time you hit a new wall. You're like, there's no way this wall is breakable, and then you break through it, and it's just keeps climbing.
There's 14 Mod 40s out there working together.
Right.
I mean, how do you stop that?
Right.
You can't stop that.
Right.
You got 14 people, you got different motor builders, you're building jack plates. I mean, you built custom motor mounts for half the team.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Right.
It's getting better. It's getting better and better, faster. I mean,
well, and I think that the whole community changed. Like, it's not just for a long time. It was don't talk about it. Don't talk about my motor builder. Don't look at my motor. Don't do this. Don't do that.
So secretive.
I know there's still some of that, and you're not getting my motor. I don't care how much you got. Like, but as a whole, everybody's like, hey, this works. Hey, these gears work. Hey, this prop works. Hey, we did this. And maybe they're not giving you the whole thing, but they're feeding you some crumbs that's like, okay, well.
They're giving you a direction.
Right.
The boat club has changed from trying to outdo everybody into working together as a team.
Right.
It's a team. It's a team.
Let's bring
effort.
everybody up.
It's a team. It's a team effort, and I know it just sounds weird. You're like, hey, let's be a team. Let's be a team.
We only race each other, but it's like,
it's
everybody's getting
it's
faster.
good for everybody.
And at some point, you start racing yourself, which is good. I mean, because if you're out there half tracking everybody the whole time, like what fun is that?
It's no fun. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like nobody.
I hadn't been there. I'm not saying like I'm the one that's done this.
Hey, it feels good. It feels good. But man, we better wrap this thing up.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I say we go out there and we go look at some stuff in the plant after this.
Yeah, you'll go out there and check some new stuff out. He drove down, so let's get some new stuff built.
Absolutely, let's do it. I want to thank everybody for watching. You need to check us out on YouTube, Rumble. You need to check out our race series. Okay, our new season is fixing to unwind to get started, and it's going to be exciting. Quentin's losing weight. I'm more excited about Quentin losing weight than anything.
Yeah.
I hope he gets down to the outlaw class. I mean, I'm ready to see it.
We're going to do a lot more interviews this year with the drivers during the races. We're going to change it up a little bit this year. We got some new surprises coming out. We also got our hunting part of the YouTube.
Yep, we're excited about that too. That's going to bring a new aspect to us.
We went to Texas. We went to New Mexico. We went all over the place, and we got some funny stuff on film. Not a lot of killing, but we did have a good time though.
Killing time and burning tires up.
We had a great time in New Mexico, and a lot of it wasn't nothing to do with boats, but sometimes you gotta have a break. You know, and one thing I do know that we all like boats, we all like to hunt. So whether you're on a mountaintop or whether you're in the water, it's all a good time, and that's what we're sharing.
It is, absolutely. Thanks everybody for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, hit the post notification, ring the bell, and catch us later.